How's everybody doing today? This is Corey Lee's Boxing, and we are back with another banger. So please smash that like button, you guys, and subscribe. And yeah, man, we're gonna be talking. Wow, the 135-pound division, you guys. There's a lot of heavy hitters in that division. We're here to talk about them all. We're here to talk about Shakur Stevenson. We're here to talk about Devin Haney. We're definitely here to talk about Ryan Garcia. And you cannot forget Gervonta Tank Davis or Vasil Lomachenko. There's about 5 to 6 heavy hitters in the 135-pound division, and we're here to touch on them all. Okay. Before I forget, you guys, please smash that like button. As soon as you guys come in, it helps with the visibility of the show. And if you guys want to donate, you guys can donate to Corey Lee Boxing at Corey Lee Boxing on Cash App. Corey Lee Boxing on Cash App. So yeah, man, let's talk about it, man. The 135-pound division is on fire right now. We're getting another big fight next month with George Kambosos versus Devin Haney 2. And I want to touch on that fight a little bit first because that is the main fight in the 135-pound division, because you got to understand that Devin Haney has all of the belts at 135 pounds. So all roads lead through Devin Haney. Okay? He's got the IBF, he's got the WBA, he's got the WBO, and he's got the WBC heavyweight titles of the world, man. So, the lightweight titles of the world. And we need the same thing in heavyweight. That's why I said heavyweight. We're almost there. We got one fight left. We're down to one fight, man. And we'll get that though. But shout out to Usyk. He is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. I just had to throw that out there. I've been saying that for 3 years now though. So go check my videos. But yeah, Devin Haney and George Kambosos. This is a rematch. Okay, this is a rematch. It is going down. It is a rematch. Both guys right now are highly decorated. You know what I'm saying? Highly decorated. You guys got to understand, George Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez, which a lot of people thought Teofimo Lopez was the best 135-pounder. But once he got knocked off, we were pretty much like, what do we do? This is wow, man. This is something that we've never seen before. A fight go down like this, with both fighters, having W's, having wins, and respectfully losing, with Teofimo Lopez and Vasil Lomachenko. So Vasil Lomachenko lost to Teofimo Lopez, and then Teofimo Lopez lost to George Kambosos. And then, one more. George Kambosos then lost to Devin Haney. So the bus might stop at Devin Haney. Now, Devin Haney looks like he could hold those belts for a couple times, you know what I'm saying, and defend all of those straps. You got a lot of takers, man. You got a lot of takers at the 135-pound division, man. There's a lot of takers, man. You got Devin Haney's number one, I would say. Definitely Devin Haney's number one. But who's you guys' number two? Who's you guys' number two is George Kambosos even in the top 5 anymore after that one-sided loss that he took to Devin Haney? Nobody had to dispute Devin Haney and what he did to George Kambosos. Nobody had to dispute that. It wasn't like, wow, who won that fight? It was a close fight. No, we knew exactly who won that fight. And we knew exactly, what happened. George Kambosos just didn't have enough in his arsenal to take on and to beat. I feel like one of the best 135 pounders in the entire world, and that is Devin the Dream Haney. And so yeah, so now with that being said, I just think right now we're at a changing of the guards. And what I mean by that is, Devin Haney right now is the top 135-pound guy. But how long does that last for? How long does that last for? He's already made rumbles about him moving up to 140 pounds. He's already talked about that. And I just feel like, for him to he is gonna defend him. So I will give him that. Vasil Lomachenko didn't really defend all of the belts when he had all of the belts because it was a Devin Haney and it was a Vasil Lomachenko situation going on at the time. See, I got to give you guys the 135-pound lineage. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to get technical. I'm an historian as well, man. But he said, Modern King Boxing says, what's great, Corey Lee Boxing? Oh, man, I'm good, man. Smash that like button, you guys. You guys are in for a treat today, man. I'm fully focused. I'm fully rested. And this is the new Corey Lee Boxing studio, you guys. So you guys got to definitely show some love on this one, man. This is going to be the new studio. And this is going to be actually where a lot of these live streams will be going down at right here, man. This is the Corey Lee Boxing studio, man. So yeah, the lineage of the 135-pound division is it starts with Vasil Lomachenko getting all those belts together. Because remember, the belts was all over. Richard Coleman had a belt. Other people had belts at that time, and Vasil Lomachenko pretty much consolidated all of the belts at 135 pounds just to lose, okay, to Teofimo Lopez, man. So when he took that loss to Teofimo Lopez, it was almost like a wow, man. I thought we had a champion that was a bona fide good champion, but then he literally lost it like in his very next fight after getting all the belts. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things like, was he really the best that was ever out there the whole time? It had you second guess Lomachenko. We seen him lose to Orlando Salido, in his second or third fight, but a lot of people didn't hold that against him because it was so early on in his career. But now, with that being said, you got a lot different things out there now. You got it's just the landscape has changed. Vasil Lomachenko has beat Gary Russell Jr. He's beaten, a list of other guys in his career, moving up. And I feel like right now, Vasil Lomachenko, is still in the race, but at the time we thought he was the best fighter. Modern King Boxing says, I shared it on Twitter. Twitter wants us to pay to broaden the audience now. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, man. Smash that like button, yo. But yeah, man, right now I really feel like, at the landscape at 135 pounds, the lineage started with Vasil Lomachenko consolidating them. Okay. And then after he's consolidated him, he just pretty much gave him up to Teofimo Lopez. Then Teofimo Lopez lost in his very next fight to after getting the belts to George Kambosos, a long-time mandatory challenger for the IBF title. And he lost, he pretty much lost. So I was just like, man, this is out of control, bro. Are we gonna ever get a champion in the 135-pound division? And so now here we are. He says, Modern King Boxing says, Lomachenko sold me with his Nakatani demolishing Valerio was going to win until he got knocked out. Yeah, Verdejo wasn't the same Modern King Boxing after he had that car accident. That motorcycle accident. Remember, he had a motorcycle accident that where he had it. I believe from the video, he didn't have a helmet on. And the dude was going full speed, at least 50 miles per hour, and he fell off a motorcycle with no helmet or body gear. So when you do that, and you're the number one prospect, and I think Verdejo got prospect of the year before that accident. And it's like when he came back, he was really never the same. Mind you, Verdejo beat a lot of guys in the Olympics that are good now. Verdejo was a problem, man, for real, from Puerto Rico. Shout out. He says, Modern King Boxing says, damn, I didn't know that. Yeah, bro, I study the world of boxing. I don't just study one fighter, bro. I don't study just one fighter. This is a lineage. This is Corey Lee Boxing goes deep on this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And, I can tell you a little bit about Vasil Lomachenko, which I think what makes him so much of a threat. I think he's just such a threat because of his conditioning. Just his conditioning alone will have him in a lot of these fights where it'll be a close fight, no matter who he's in there with. If he's in there with Devin Haney, it's still going to be a close fight because Vasil Lomachenko is going to throw a lot of punches. That's number one, okay? Vasil Lomachenko, versus Teofimo Lopez, they said he had an injury. We don't know if to believe that or if to not believe that. With boxers, you don't really believe everything you hear. You know what I'm saying? You can't believe everything you hear because, they could be telling you a story one minute and then, telling you the truth the next minute. So it's like, you don't really know. It's like, man, I wanted to fight him the whole time. Well, it's like, why the hell you ain't signed up for the testing? The body test, and all that stuff. I mean, it's so many different variables on why fights don't go down. I just hope that we get the premier fight at 135 pounds. I want to see Devin Haney take on Shakur Stevenson. Two young, black, undefeated fighters. That is just awesome for the division, man. Both guys got their own style. Both guys kind of is in their own, like, cheesemo type, they kind of GQ, like Shakur Stevenson, he's there. He's really much there for the kids. He's from, out there in New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, which is rough as shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these fighters come from rough upbringings, and that's why I got to talk about my boy next, man. Out of all of the 135 pounders, the dark knight in the division is none other than hailing from Baltimore, Maryland, Gervonta Tank Davis. I mean, for you to have a nickname as the Tank, you gotta be punching with some power, dude. I'm sorry. They call you Tank. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy within itself. Like, just somebody calling you Tank in a boxing match. Like, oh man, how do you think Devin Haney goes, how do you think he matches up against Tank? Like, what? That's Devin Haney versus a Tank. Like, that, do you understand what you're getting yourself into? People call him Tank Davis. Like, they don't call him Gervonta Davis. A lot of people from Baltimore call him Tank. You know what I'm saying? That's his nickname out there. And for him to get out of that situation, Baltimore, I don't think you guys know how bad Baltimore is, bro. Like, I don't think you guys have a clue what Gervonta Davis had to go through to get out of Baltimore, man. It's one of those situations where it's like, it was this dude trained around living zombies. Okay? You got drug addicts that are right beside your gym. Okay? And you're running miles past them. Okay? And they're high as shit. They're gassed out of their mind, dude. And for him to get out of that situation and to better himself, and now he's a multi-millionaire and he's a pay-per-view superstar, I think Gervonta Davis gets all the kudos, man. I'm not saying Shakur Stevenson's situation wasn't worse. I'm not saying Devin Haney's situation wasn't worse. But you got to understand, man, this dude Gervonta Davis was in the system for a little while, man. His mom was on, drugs. They already said it, shout out to his mother. She's good now, and I salute her. And, but he had to go through her, and then, his dad really not being in his life. And so it's like, you guys got to understand, man. And then him living in Baltimore. All of that shit's going on, and he's living in Baltimore. One of the roughest cities in America. Smash that motherfucking like button, man. Y'all don't hear me, man. Corey burning today, man. You guys are in for a treat. Yeah. Get your sweet tooth ready. UGC in the chat. What's going on, my brother? How's everything going, man? Trust, I know it's like living in Barrett. Jersey ain't no picnic, that's for sure. Yeah, man, but I'm just saying, Gervonta Davis, just to touch on that real quick, for him to become world champion, for him to go through the Calvin Ford, him and his, head trainer Calvin Ford. And for him to go through all of that, I just feel like, wow, man, he came a long way. He came a very long way, and he's a better fighter now. A lot of people say, well, Gervonta Davis is doing this outside of the ring. Gervonta Davis is doing that outside of the ring. The dude came from absolutely nothing, and he got millions of dollars, and y'all are going to be like, well, I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't be doing that. You don't know what the fuck you would be doing with $1 million, motherfucker, because you ain't got it. Tighten up, man. Tighten up, y'all. Corey burning today, man. Corey burning today. I told y'all in for a treat. Now y'all done got it. You know what I mean? Y'all done got the treat. You know what I mean? I'm back. I'm in the Corey Lee Boxing Studios, man. Do you understand me? Do you know what this is? This is a monumental day for Corey Lee Boxing and for all of the fans out there. We going to bigger and better things now, baby. We're going to bigger and better things, man. We're going to have a podcast jumping. We're going to have it all, man. But, yeah, get back to what I was talking about. Gervonta Davis is a champion. A lot of people don't want to say he's a champion, but he does have the WBA regular strap, okay, which is the WBA lightweight world championship, okay, in 135-pound division, okay? So that's what he has. And, it's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like a lot of people don't respect that. Some people look at Gervonta Davis's title, and they're like, this dude has a regular strap. UGC, what's happening, man? Modern King Boxing, what's happening? Who are you guys as top 135-pound fighters, man? But I got to put Gervonta Davis as a dark horse, man. He came from nothing. He's still undefeated. And every guy you talk to after fighting him says this dude got devastating power. Yeah. Ask Leo Santa Cruz. He put him this night-night. His dad was worried about him, man. That Leo Santa Cruz knockout happened right in front of his father. Yeah. Yeah, you're training your son to beat the man in front of you, but the man in front of you just iced you. Yeah. You're not moving anymore. Gervonta Tank Davis has that type of one-punch knockout power and is devastating in 135 pounds. So it's like, how in the hell do you guys see Ryan Garcia, not getting touched up one time in this fight, bro, with Gervonta Tank Davis, bro? Like, come on. Capadonna, 24. Let me give you guys some shout-outs real quick, man. We got UGC in the building. If you guys know about UGC, he got his own channel. Go check him out, UGC Flame. He does his own YouTube content as well, man. Shout out to UGC, man. He had the Michael Myers dude on that joint, man. And Modern King Boxing says, yeah, man, he says New Jersey ain't no picnic neither. Yeah, we know. Shout out to Jersey, man. But Baltimore too, though. Yeah. Capadonna in the chat says, yo, what's up, Corey? What's going on, man? So, yeah, we're touching on the 135-pound division. We got 5 or 6 really good fighters. My personal dark horse was Gervonta Tank Davis, just because of his rough upbringing. A lot of people try to doubt him when he, they're like, oh, he hasn't fought anybody. He knocks dudes out. Rolly Romero could fight at 147 respectfully. He walks around 160. Okay? You just got floored by a 135-pounder. Yeah. Rolly Romero walks around at middleweight. Yeah. Facts. Yeah. Some say higher than that. He's a weight bully. But see, what happens is when a weight bully meets a real bully, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Ice season happens, you know what I'm saying? I gotta come up with I gotta put the ice season emoji like right in this area right here, man. I gotta come up with the ice season emoji, and I gotta just get that to y'all. I gotta give y'all guys a treat. Modern King Boxing in the chat says He says Tank has very good footwork when a fighter least expects that, when the damage is done. Yeah, I mean, that is one of the reasons why you guys gotta watch out for Tank Davis, because he has that sneaky power where he'll jab, throw a couple 1-2s and pop back out, and you'll think that'll be it. You think he'll be doing that the rest of the night, and then he'll do a combination where I just seen Gervonta Davis throw 3 or 4 punches and didn't want to land none of them. So they were just smoke and mirrors. Like, that's what he hit Leo Santa Cruz with. He was like, boom, boom, and then he came underneath with the uppercut and boom, knocked him slam out. You know what I'm saying? It was night time, ice season. Yeah. And that's the definition of an ice season, the way Leo Santa Cruz respectfully got knocked out. When you get knocked out that brutally, you reconsider your career. You reconsider, some people thought Leo Santa Cruz should have retired after that knockout. I don't see Devin Haney or Vasil Lomachenko or any of these guys doing that. I mean, now Vasil Lomachenko, he'll make you quit, like Nicholas Walters. He hasn't fought since then. But as far as knockout power, where you're like, this dude had a good career going for himself, and then bam, Gervonta Tank. It was the Tank. I told y'all, man, stop fucking with the Tank, man. He's the dark horse in the division, man. I'm telling you, man. I gotta keep it real. Man. Smash that like button as soon as you guys come in, man. We definitely got to get these likes up. Let me see. Come on. If you can. Yeah, so I mean, let's see what else we got going on. Modern King Boxing in the chat says Devin Haney will beat. He says, will beat Haney. I think Kambosos needs to be Haney's statement rematch. He has to stop him to get more respect versus a Gervonta Davis situation. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying, man. You guys don't understand, man. This shit ready to be lit, bro. This is ITR Boxing, a.k.a. Lukey with the championship ring. And look.
The Super Bowl ring.
Oh, man, I'm going to let you rip, man. Let everybody know what's going on with you, man.
Man, the book is out right now on Amazon. If you like boxing, Inside of the Ropes of Boxing, that's my name. That's my government name. We're not running from anybody, so you can see that. That's the name I pay taxes with. It's a real good book. Check it out. I came on here for about 10, 15 minutes. Got some free time. I'm rocking with my guy, Corey Lee.
Yo, I'm so hyped right now. We're talking about one of the hottest divisions in boxing, the 135-pound division. I mean, Lukey, you got to understand, as a boxing fan, as a real diehard boxing fan, you got to be elated about the 135-pound situation right now. I mean, you got Shakur Stevenson moving up to an already hot on fire division, and then you add that. Not only that, you got young Keyshawn Davis from Virginia, you know what I'm saying? And he's lighting it up too. He's only 6-0. What do you got to say about the 135-pound division, Luke? And, how do you see the 135-pound division panning out?
It's exciting when we see these young men challenge themselves to be great. And I just want to see them in these great fights. I like seeing a young kid like Keyshawn Davis calling out a Frank Martin, because that's a good fight. I like seeing Shakur challenging himself to be great. Devin Haney's track record speaks for himself. He doesn't have friends in this industry. I think it's very exciting, and I hope we get Tank versus Ryan Garcia, because the more exciting matchups we get in the lightweight division, the more new fight fans we're going to get, because there are going to be so many people that want to see these great fights.
Ooh, man, okay. So I'm saying, like, right now, how do you see Like, who do you name 5 of the top contenders at 135 pounds in Lukey's order, or just throw them out there randomly. You don't have to have.
Are you saying
just 5
champions
good
or
fighters.
guys that don't have belts? Right?
5 guys that can be in contention to take those belts from Devin Haney.
Right. Okay. So 5 guys. Obviously, Lomachenko is there. Obviously Lomachenko is there because he's a legend of the sport. Michel Riviera. He's been paying his
dues. Are you putting
the
Ali guy in there too?
I'm throwing the Ali guy in there because he hasn't gotten his opportunity.
Over Lomachenko. I mean, okay.
Well, I'm not putting him over Lomachenko. I'm just saying I'm giving you 5 guys. So I'd put Loma, Michel Riviera's in my list of guys. Obviously, Shakur Stevenson, right? Shakur's there. Shakur's probably, if we're going in terms of rankings, so I'll do the rankings. I'll go Shakur 1, Vasil Lomachenko number 2. Then I'd probably put a guy like Michel Riviera, an underdog, a guy that I'd like to see. I'm going to throw a curveball at you. What about Arnold Barbosa, the 140-pounder at Top Rank, coming down to 135 to lightweight to challenge some of these big dogs down there? And then my 5th guy, I think you got to also say someone like Ryan Garcia, who, even though he hasn't had that big fight, we're excited to see him in those type of fights. So you got to put Ryan's name in the mix. I'm not including Tank because Tank has a form of a world title. So, I mean, he's really a champion, even if people don't acknowledge that belt,
Yeah. Oh, so you're not putting the champions in there. That's what you're not
I'm not putting the champions in there because the champions aren't contenders. A champion is a champion. If you're asking me who the best guy is in the division, well, we have to look at Devin has the belts. That should signify something. To me, Devin and Shakur are the guys, but we got to see how Shakur does at lightweight. I think he'll do phenomenal. But Devin and Shakur, to me, on the eye test, look like the guys.
That's what I'm saying. Like right now, as a Lukey eye test, you got the book out. You know what I'm saying? You got the book out, so you know something about boxing. So for that eye test, who are the top 3 guys at lightweight division?
I mean, that's easy, bro. I don't know how it shakes out.
Champion or not?
So to me, it's Shakur, Devin Haney, and Tank. Those are the top 3 guys.
You gotta put Tank in that
because I think Tank might be the best guy. See, I'm different than most people. I think Tank could be the best guy.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just we haven't seen those fights. You get what I'm saying?
And a lot of people are saying Tank is blowing smoke and mirrors. I said, fuck no. I responded to that and I say, fuck no, because he's knocking out Rolly Romero, which is really, like I was telling guys on here before you came on here and burned, I was telling guys, Rolly Romero is really 140 to 47 pounder. The dude walks around at an absurd middleweight to possibly,
light heavyweight possibly.
Light heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, I seen this dude at some of the fights, yo, and I'm a solid 190, 6 foot. Dude was there a bit of 170.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
and for Tank to knock him out, though, what I'm trying to explain to you and the people out there, for Tank to knock a guy like that out in the 8th round, 7th to 8th round, with particularly, I'm not gonna say it was ease, but it was the first clean punch. I feel like, he really got on him like that. You know what I'm saying?
Corey Lee, this is the issue with Tank, though, and I want to see him with a Shakur or a Devin. A real fight is he has a habit of playing with
small guys. I don't mean to cut you off, but can them small guys take that?
And power? that's one of the questions because we know that Tank likes to systematically break people down to the body. He targets the body and then he goes in. But I think the other thing we got to remember, Corey Lee boxing, is Tank can sometimes play with his food. He can lose rounds to Leo Santa Cruz. He can lose rounds to Rolly Romero because he's looking for these shots. He's not a guy that's going to work every minute of every round because he believes in that power. And I am a little cautious because I'm curious how his style would translate with Shakur Stevenson.
Which they're going to be working every round.
You got to work every round with a guy like Shakur. You got to work every round with a guy like Devin. But at the same time, if we're going power versus power, Devin and Tank and Ryan have the most power of any fighters in this division.
Who?
In the lightweight division, Tank and Ryan Garcia are the two strongest natural punchers in this division right now.
Over Shakur and over Devin
Over all of them.
and Loma.
Over all of them. Loma is an accumulation puncher. Loma is a puzzle. I think that Shakur is just the younger version of a Lomachenko.
Okay.
Because I think that people disrespect Lomachenko because the media hyped him up very heavily and people just wanted to hate on Loma because of how much he was hyped. Loma's a very good fighter. For some reason, his legacy hasn't shook out the way we kind of wanted to.
Yeah.
I think the one thing about the undisputed lightweight reign of Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney we forget is Lomachenko won 3 of those titles. He did a lot of the heavy lifting.
That's what I was saying. If you go back and rewind this tape, I said Lomachenko did the grunt work. I said he consolidated all of the belts, but just to lose them after he got them all.
And then a war broke out, so he's not been able to be as active as he probably wanted to. But I do think that gets forgot is that Loma fought a lot of fights.
They were supposed to have a rematch, right? Not to cut you off, but they were supposed to have a rematch, right?
With Lomachenko and Teo?
Teo and Lomo?
No, there was a no rematch clause for that fight. So the minute that outcome got decided, Teo went in another direction. I think that's going to be one of boxing's greatest what ifs. But I think one thing that hurt Loma's legacy, Corey Lee Boxing, is that he fought a lot of fights the fans didn't care about just to obtain those belts. So the Linares fight I found very fun, but a lot of people weren't excited about it. He fought, I think, Anthony Corolla for a form of a belt. He fought a lot of guys to pick up belts, and these were literally accolade achievements because he wanted to be undisputed. And he wasn't pursuing like, what's the biggest fight I can be in? He's like, how many accomplishments can I have?
Yeah.
And I think that bit him in the butt when he lost to Teofimo because people go, who did he fight? But he was running.
Yeah.
He was going around the world literally trying to either get number 1 contender spots or fight guys to win belts as opposed to fighting big name fighters.
Let me ask you this, though. This is a really good question, though, Luke. This is a really good question. Let me ask you this, though. And this is a real question for a real boxing fan like yourself, and myself. Have we seen the best of Vasil Lomachenko yet? Let's be honest. I mean, there's been a lot of hiccups. People say he had an injury for the Teofimo fight. People say he was handicapped in the Salido fight. So it's like, have we really seen as a professional, not as an amateur, but as a professional, have we seen the best in Vasil high-tech Lomachenko?
I don't know. I have a funny feeling that we'll never truly see the greatness of Lomachenko as a pro. It kind of feels that way, that we'll never understand how good he was. I think what's most interesting about Loma is he's not motivated by money at all. He's motivated by legacy. And yet, for some reason, he's never fully connected with the American fans. And you'd think that the American fans would be super excited for a guy that's basically like, who's the most exciting opportunity, or who's my biggest challenge, or what's the biggest title? He's kind of pursued those type of fights, but the issue has just been, for some reason, he doesn't like. He fought Salido for a world title in his second fight, lost. Jumps in with Gary Russell Jr. in his very next fight, wins that, quickest male fighter to win 3 world titles, probably one of the best featherweights and super featherweights ever, very much undersized at lightweight, and he's still just as good as the top fighters. He's a guy that we're not going to see probably again in our lifetime, and if we do, it's going to be 20 years from our lifetime. It's going to be something people easily compare young fighters to, but never duplicate what he's doing. But that being said, I don't think we're going to appreciate what Loma did or understand what his greatness was until he's gone, because he's had such low maintenance in terms of being a fight fan or anything. If he wants a fight, the fights get made. You've never heard of a fight not working with Lomachenko. If you call him out and you're really serious about it, he will go to other networks. He will fight people. Teofimo Lopez, he took less money.
He fought Gary Russell on PBC. You're right about that.
And that's
Gary Russell on the PBC. What was it? The Sean Porter Brook undercard?
Yeah, I believe it was. It was at a Carson.
Out there, outdoor stadium.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, it's funny how some of these fighters, right, network politics exist, but then guys like Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, the politics don't seem to exist as much. Or Lomachenko, the network politics don't exist as much.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. This is why. Because when you think about it, the heavyweight division and Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury and Joshua and all of them, they're at a higher level in the boxing rankings when it comes to money. This lightweight, I feel like only the real revenue pushers in the lightweight division will possibly be Vasil Lomachenko and Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia specifically.
And Shakur's getting there.
But you got to understand, that's the New Jersey, Newark, and the East Coast kind of vibe. And I feel like, yes, he is getting there, but is it there? Is he ready for pay-per-view starter?
The answer is no, but I think that's the point of, if next year we could get Lomachenko versus Shakur and put it at Madison Square Garden, I think that would be a fight that, from a marketplace standpoint, you got a guy that looks like a star, a northeastern type of guy, taking on Vasil Lomachenko, who we all know is a very phenomenal fighter, more than likely a future Hall of Famer, and he has a strong East Coast fan base. I think it's those type of fights, because when you look at the legends of our sport, Tito Trinidad fighting Bernard Hopkins, Bernard didn't have to fight Tito Trinidad, and people expected him to lose, and he still won. Don't count out the old guy and the young guy fight. We just aren't accustomed.
That's why I'm trying to tell you, and that's why I specifically asked you, because I could ask a lot of other boxing, channels and all of that. But I know that I like the way you break stuff down, specifically you, because you go deep into a fighter's background, you go deep into a fighter's, lineage, and you go deep into a fighter's almost his soul, because you're pretty much touching on how he is as a human being, and how, like, some of that out of the ring shit can come and bite you in the ass. You know what I'm saying?
It's like Edwin Valero, right?
Hold on. Let me just say this one thing. I like Teofimo Lopez. When I interviewed Teofimo Lopez versus the Nakatani fight, when he fought at the MGM Grand, and I did my media thing at that joint, I asked him personally, you can go back on my channel and ask him, I said, man, this was a lackluster performance. Because I did my research before I interviewed him. I said, did you and your family situation affect the outcome of this fight? He looked at me with his eyes opened up wider, like, wow, how did this dude know? And I'm like, yeah. And I looked at him like, I wanted an answer. And he was like, yeah, actually it did. He said, actually it did. And then he started getting emotional. I mean, right then on the spot. Go look at the interview. And it's like those type of things can indirectly fuck up a fighter's career. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, you got to factor in the outside shit that's going on as much as the inside shit. How focused are these fighters in these training camps? You see what I'm saying?
I hear you, because it's like, I think that boxing, we always hear sayings, adages from the old timers. The sport's more mental, right? The sport's more mental than it is physical, but we never really value it. And I don't mean you and me, but I mean, people will say this is more mental than physical, but then you bring up the mental sides, breaking it down. Okay, this guy's going, like, here's a great example. You brought up Teofimo. David Benavidez, Regis Prograis, Shakur Stevenson. What do they all have in common? Young parents raising families, and they missed weight. They had a young child at home, or family at home. People overlook just the fact that you're living with a girl at a young age.
You're a human being. You're a human being.
They think it's Street Fighter, right? David Benavidez. I go to the screen and I click on him, and it's going to be the same guy because he's my favorite fighter. It's not like he's going home. He's going to be
that same guy every fight. That's what they're thinking that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like they're going to click on Blanca, right? They're like, okay, there's Blanca. I hit the button, and he turns into electrocution. These are human beings first that battle depression, battle anxiety. They battle their own demons to be great athletes. And in this sport, I always go back to Tim Bradley, because Tim Bradley's like one of the greatest examples of this. Tim beat out a lot of fighters in this great sport because he was mentally stronger than a lot of people. Even if
Yep.
he had those doubts, Tim Bradley would push himself to places.
To a different level.
And he found comfort. Remember when Teddy Atlas told him, we're firemen, we live in the fire. There is a little truth to that with Tim Bradley, because it's like, in terms of talent, there were guys that I feel like possibly were more talented or more athletic or had things, but Tim was just better at winning. He was better at finding ways to win. And that's something that people take for granted, is not every fighter goes into each fight with the same skill set, fight in, fight out.
That's very true, man. And I mean, just to touch on that, in the 135-pound division, you know, you got to look at a lot of these fighters outside of the ring. And that's why I commend and I respect Bill Haney, because Bill Haney is an integral part of Devin Haney producing. You know, how focused is he going to be? How many distractions is Devin Haney going to have? And I just feel like his father eliminates a lot of that. You know, Tank Davis doesn't really have a father like that. Ryan Garcia's father's in there, but I feel like Ryan Garcia is more the father in his own father role. You know what I mean? He's the one cutting the check to his father. You know what I mean? Very few of these fighters have a father like a Sean Porter or, you know,
Jake Flores Sr. or
that's
they love their child, and they're like, this is law. This is the way you look at the world. Like Bill Haney's great at that, where like you can tell.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it, because like you can tell the person Bill Haney is by how good of a person Devin Haney is, because this is the way his life was structured by a role model of Devin, where you see some of these kids kind of roaming and learning life because there's not like the structure put in place.
They're juggling. They don't know, they don't know how it's going to land. Bill Haney knows how the directory of his son's career. And he's guarding that shit with his life too. If you notice, Bill Haney's very still into his life, man. Like on an everyday basis, I just feel like that has something to do with us picking who is the best 135-pounder or in any division. You know what I'm saying?
Look at Lomachenko. Just because he's from another country, his father's a very pivotal figure in his life. But people never want to talk about Papachenko, because Papachenko is a very quiet, humble person. I think one of the interesting things about Lomachenko is Loma doesn't really care about the media and all that. But I do think that if someone asked him, like, what does fighting mean about making your father look like the best coach, you'll see a different answer, because you see how much his father means to him and how unique that relationship is. And I think if we go full circle, Shakur Stevenson, his grandfather, is raising him and setting forth all of that. And it's kind of interesting that the three fighters at the top of this division also have three strong role models who function as coaches.
And that's what I try to touch on, man.
Tank, Calvin Davis basically Calvin Ford functions as Tank's father, essentially. So, I mean, like, if you look at the best fighters in this division that we think, it's like pretty much every male role model figure is either their father or like their father.
Is like a father to him, but respectfully, he's not his father, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Calvin Ford is, not to like, bump any heads. I love Calvin Ford. I think he's a hell of a trainer. But is he in Gervonta Tanks Davis's life like a Bill Haney is? You see what I'm saying?
I don't know, because I don't know. We don't know.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know. We know how Bill Haney is, though. And we know how, Vasil Lomachenko's father is. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's quiet as shit. But I just feel like that has something to do with what's going on. Let me go to the chat real quick, man. They're getting it in the chat. Teach in the chat says, Rolly caught him coming in with one of those jabs from what I saw. Modern Boxing says, I'm going to rewatch the Tank versus Rolly. I think I still can watch it on Showtime. He says, not to say his jab. Teach says, not to say his jabs weren't successful in some cases, because Tank gets in and out real quick. He has superb footwork. Modern King Bison says the best footwork does belong to Tank. I seen him make Barrios look ridiculous. So, like, when it comes down to, you know, all of the, you know, the technical factors in it, and the training camps, and, you know, everybody coming in on weight and everything like that, right now, who do you think the best lightweight in the world is, Luke? You know, when it comes down to, we narrowed it down to 5, then we narrowed it down to 3. Now we're narrowing it down to 1.
It's between Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. Right now, I think you have to say it's Devin Haney because he's got the belts. I think Devin's going to vacate lightweight pretty soon, and then I think Shakur is going to overtake that division. But when I look at this division right now, I think it's hard to beat Devin Haney, and it's hard to beat Shakur Stevenson. I've always been a big Shakur fan. I believe in his skill set. That being said, the type of person and the level of maturity Devin Haney has, his character, it's elite, and it's not to be taken lightly. Devin is a very, very special fighter.
You think he's mentally stronger than some of these other fighters we're listing?
I think that Devin Haney is mentally stronger than 99.99 fighters in the world.
He was willing, listen to this, he was willing to take on his toughest test to date on paper without his most pivotal person in his life in his corner. He was willing to do that.
And behaved like a professional the whole time. Didn't name call, didn't he showed up to obligations while cutting weight and behaved like a true professional athlete. I think it's very hard because, you know, there's a lot of anxieties. There's a lot of insecurities that come with that moment. You don't know exactly how that moment's going to play out, even if you have strong self-belief. And seeing the way that he didn't let anyone inside of how he was feeling and behaved like a true professional shows you just how mentally strong Devin is.
So, yeah, man, I just think Devin Haney's at the top of his game, man. And, yeah, man, this is going to conclude my live stream because I got to get to work, man.
It was a pleasure to be on. If anyone enjoys having me on, this is my book. In around Black Friday, Thanksgiving, I'm going to let Corey Lee do a giveaway, and I'm going to send you guys some books. So Corey will figure out a way to do it, and we're going to do some giveaways on this channel. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I'm letting you know, Corey, I'm going to give you some books, autographed books, and
I got some t-shirts I'll throw in there too.
Okay, so we got a goodie bag. So we got some shirts, and I'm going to have a book coming to you in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to get your info and all that, and you send me some shirts or whatnot. But I just want you to know it's respect. I appreciate you, Corey. I appreciate the chat. And keep tuning into this great channel. Thumbs up on the channel, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and stay tuned for this giveaway. Autographed copy of the book coming soon.
All right, man. Thank you guys for watching, man. This is Corey Lee Boxing, and you've definitely been hit with another banger. Peace out, you guys. You guys have a great Tuesday.